Hello again, YouTube. This is the truth, man. Give you the truth, and this is for married man, and it probably ain't gonna be lightning quick. I got to talk on this. So, you and your wife have done a lot of arguing in front of your kids, grown kids, young kids. Regardless of whatever your shortcomings were, whether you had money problems, that's not any reason for her or your kids to disrespect you, and don't allow them to do so. Demand respect. You see what I'm saying? And here's the thing, like, if you have adult kids and they don't listen to you, like if they don't listen to you and they end up in trouble, you in your 40s, enjoy your 40s, man. Don't spend all your youthful years, your 30s and 40s, like bailing people out of jail. If you taught your kids the way they should go and they go the other way, I mean, I'm not saying just be completely absent, but I'm saying live your life. Don't spend your whole life dealing with the shortcomings of your kids. You know, have some fun. You know, sometimes be like, hey, what did I always teach you? Well, you didn't listen to me, so you know that's your fault. I'm going fishing. You see, that's how a lot of us Gen Xers gonna have to do our kids. Otherwise, we're gonna wake up one day and we're gonna be 65, 70 years old, and we done spent the last 20 some odd years babysitting, bailing our kids in and out of jail, watching our kids get themselves in situations. You know, no. I mean, when they grown and they don't listen to you, they on their own, man. When they young, you try to get them to listen. You know, it's marriage just not what it was. Really, marriage was never like great for non-godly people. Like, you had two godly people that know their roles and stay within their role, that'll be a good marriage. Those are probably the ones that are good. But in today's modern society, it's just not, it's really not worth the risk, if I'm just being honest with you. Because most people ain't gonna be nowhere near what they were at the beginning. That's just a fact. Prove me wrong. Like I just told somebody, and if you only got one example, then that's the exception to the rule. It's not proof. But when I'm saying, like, even when I worked at the detention center, I was just seeing a bunch of people basically spending their whole entire life dealing with these bad kids. You know, I think some of you grandparents just need to realize that your kids, wayward kids, is going to be the death of you. So maybe you probably need to move to another state, some of you. I mean, just to have peace and not have to always be dealing with these bad kids going in and out of jail and stuff. You know, like I say, you don't want to be completely absent, but you want to have your life in balance while you deal with it. So, what is going on with a lot of families is guys are trying to stay in their marriage, but they arguing in front of their kids, wife disrespecting them in front of the kid. And if they closer to her, do you really think, just look at Willow Smith, for example. They not going to respect you. Like, it's a lot of people that's dealing with that right now. I've even heard YouTubers talking about it. They closer to the woman who's your ex, who's disrespecting you, and who's trying to find demonic ways, like Evil-Lyn. Remember Evil-Lyn from He-Man? to keep you down and to bring you downward, what do you think? You think they're going to respect you? No. They ain't going to appreciate anything you do. They're going to forget about every good thing you did. And they're going to focus on whatever the one or two bad things or things that done went sour that woman is talking about. That's just how it is. That's how it is. But guys need to start bailing out. See, some of these guys that we hear about that just up and left, you can't say that all of them was just losers and just, we don't know all those situations. What I can say is, if any of their wives were like some of these wives today, then there's gonna be some cases where you'd be like, oh, okay, that's why he did it. Because these women will be like, they won't let the kids hear it, but they'll be like, I ain't never letting you see your kids. So think about what that does to a man who don't want nothing to do with you, and you tell him you ain't gonna let him see your kids. He probably gonna be like, well, pack his bags and bounce. And then she gonna be like, man, he left us. He quit on us, blah, blah, blah. When in some cases she was like, I'm never letting you see your kids. She was threatening to leave him, which when a woman starts threatening to leave you, your relationship is basically done from that point. I'm going to go into the stages. What Coach Greg calls the marriage wheel and the bait and switch. But I'm going to go into some of those stages too. I want to talk about that as well. Like kind of like what happens like along the line. I'm going to show you. I'm going to do a video on it maybe tomorrow. We'll do that one tomorrow. But guys, you got to get a little more colder. Otherwise, your life is just gonna be wasted. Marriage, kids can be wonderful, but it can be a nightmare too. It can be a nightmare. If you know what's best for your kids and they're not listening to you, it can become a nightmare really quick. It is a nightmare for many. Nightmare. But again, these are some of the things that you deal with as married men. This is why you don't need to be arguing with her. And if she's talking about leaving you, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. So when she start talking about leaving you, I'm going to give you a little bit of it today. Then understand that emotional affair has happened or will happen, or a physical affair has happened or will happen. The physical affair is going to happen if she thinks she has you wrapped around her finger. Because see, the only way the physical affair doesn't follow the emotional affair is if your wife know you not going for it. If she think you soft or you weak or you so into her that you're going to put up with anything, that emotional affair is going to turn into a physical affair. And don't let nothing she say in terms of what her spiritual beliefs are. Don't fall for that mess, man. Don't fall for that mess. We still people at the end of the day. And people still fail. And none of these women in today's world will ever be more righteous than Eve was. And look what she did. Eve was the first lady. And look what she did. That, like, when the Most High, like, when I start seeking the Most High on some stuff in terms of relationship, that's one of the original things that he showed me. No woman will ever be more righteous than Eve. And look what Eve did. See? That's what he showed me. And be careful when you start trying to talk to these other guys. A lot of these other guys are scary themselves. Like they wife really punking them. Or they might have an old man mindset. The old man mindset is, no matter what, I'ma hang in there. Neither one of them can help you. Neither one of them can help you. I hear people saying, well, some stuff like I'm going to save for other video. But I can conclude this. Married guys, listen. You're still a man. The beginning and the end of the day. Your wife is not the only woman. And your wife, if she's disrespectful, should not be the last woman. Unless she change her ways and become what the Bible says a wife should be, and she hasn't cheated. If she cheated, I wouldn't even bother. Don't forgive. Move on. Move on. Deal with whatever you got to deal with. If she cheats and she tries to hit you up and like get all of this money out of you, you better figure out some clever ways to get around that. I wouldn't make her rich. She cheated on you. I would give her as least as possible. You know? You're going to have to figure that out. You probably need to start figuring that out right now. But nonetheless, live your lives. It's your life. Guys act like they was created to revolve their whole entire existence around a woman and some kids. I mean, you supposed to be into the Most High more than that. Yeah, of course, if we honest, some prayers go unanswered. He works mysteriously sometimes. But the Most High is going to be loyal at the end of the day to those who have him in their life. He's going to be loyal. But this is the truth, man. The channel is the No Matrix. No revolving your whole entire existence around some disobedient kids and a disrespectful wife. If this is your situation, then you need to start doing stuff by yourself sometime. You need to get your authority back. It's time for you to put all of them in their place. And if you can't, just move around on them. Move around on them. Tell them, well, it don't seem like y'all need me around, so deuces. You had a grown kids. Now they trying to override what you say. Don't go for that. The little kids not listening, you jack their little butts up, man. You said, what? The government ain't. Listen. The end of the day, the government is not paying my bills. In fact, they contributing in some ways to my bills not being paid or not being paid adequately with their little schemes. So why fear them? Why fear them? What can they do? Frame you? Just make sure you safe. Make sure your name is in the book of life and live your life. Stop worrying about these women, man. This I was thinking about something Patrice O'Neal said that was kind of vulgar. But I understood the premise, but I just don't believe in lying to women. What he told the guy. The guy's wife was basically having sex with him once a year. And he laughed, and he a comedian, so comedian gonna have their own way of saying stuff anyway. He told him to stop being a PUSSY and get him some side. Just start doing that laugh he used to do. And I'm thinking like, nah, don't get no side. Get rid of that broad. That little one time a year. Okay, listen. If you are half performing or rarely and not at all, why should I waste time? Why should you waste time if your wife is doing that? Any of y'all. I wouldn't put up with that. You shouldn't put up with it. That little half area. Do you have desire? Like you ain't did nothing in months and that's how you feel? All right, better watch this. Go right to the lawyer's office when the time is right and dismiss her and only deal with women from this gon' add what it is you looking for. See, I hear some YouTubers talking about marriage. And yeah, marriage is the way to go, but not with these women. These women are not marriage material. They gonna take away from you. They not gonna add to you. Y'all supposed to be building. If you can find one that's gonna build from a womanly standpoint, then that's still the way to go. But don't let nobody opening up the Bible get you in trouble. If you can't find that, I mean, what else you gonna do? You gonna become a eunuch because these women are not wives? I wouldn't. But one thing about people nowadays, you can't. It's getting more and more difficult to get people to do what's right and to do what you need them to do. More and more difficult. So, I mean, what you gonna spend the next 20 years arguing and beefing with your wife like rival street gangs and going back and forth with your kid? Don't do that, man. Go somewhere where you can have peace. And you need to like what Kevin Samuels used to say, you need to reinvent yourself. You need to reprogram yourself. Get out of that. Okay, let's say your father was a good guy. Your mother was a good woman. And you saw, and I'm finna close, you saw how a marriage was supposed to be. But now you can't find that for yourself. You listen. If your father telling you to hang in there with somebody that cheated on you or just don't respect you, is trying to lead you like she got a nutsack, I mean, that's just the time you can't listen to. But if your father is telling you right and you're not listening to him because you're close to your mother, that's not good. That's what that's what's going on in a lot of households. If he's at work all the time, it's because he has to. Okay, what if your father only worked part-time? What kind of lifestyle y'all gonna live? Y'all gonna be in the ghetto. You ain't gonna have no adequate house. Some guys have to work like that. And now women are trying to punish you. Oh, you ain't never here. Okay. See, it's some things women say where you just gotta conclude that they gonna find ways to criticize you no matter what, because they really either want to be a slut and get banged and have all these guys showing them attention, or they want a guy that they can run over. I mean, these are some of the reasons why women say those things. They say those things, that's really an excuse. Especially if you've been working long hours your whole life and now you ain't never here. Dude, don't let these women get comfortable. Make them sweat. Y'all letting y'all wives get too comfortable. Too comfortable. Some of them ain't adding nothing. Like they don't even have sex no more. They too comfortable. They gotta go. They gotta let them cry. And they start crying, just cut them right off. Like, why you crying? Look, I mean, you brought this on yourself. Did you really think that I was gonna go for X, Y, Z? I done heard just this year. It's only June 1st. I done heard at least 1,000 stories of women who don't have sex with their husband. always arguing with their husband, flirting around, just all this stuff, thirst trapping, at least 1,000 stories. It's getting out of hand, man. Then you got guys on here trying to make you think you ungodly because you can't find a wife. I mean, that's just the way the world is now. A lot of guys not going to find a wife. They're going to find a fake wife if they try to get married. She going to be acting right, probably for the first year or two. Then y'all going to start fighting more. If that's what's going to happen first, y'all going to start fighting more. She going to try to control your eyes. You went from being a playboy to now you got one woman trying to control your eyes. She ain't controlling hers, she controlling yours though. Don't let her control nothing. I'm telling you, I'm gonna tell you, and I've been married for what, 24 years. I'm gonna tell you, if you start letting her control stuff, it's gonna get way worse for you. It's not, especially you get in the church. Let's say you was an ex-banger, drug dealer, something like that. You get in the church, you better stay close to how you are, because you will be emasculated if you don't. See how you carrying her purse, just doing all kind of stuff that in the end she's not going to respect you for doing. Cutting you off when you talk. That's one of the worst things a wife can do. When you talking, to just keep cutting you off, especially when you're talking to your kids. It's not gonna get better, man. You better control her, and don't listen to that pastor. If he's trying to make you soft, it was never intended for you to be soft. It's intended for you to be a man, and whatever happens from there just happens. Thanks for watching. Keep tuning in. This is The Truth, man. And I'll see you later and tomorrow or whichever with more video.